Hey everyone, it's the Geek Apprentice, and today I've got a video listing off 20 things you may not have noticed in that gameplay footage for Tears of the Kingdom. That gameplay footage was absolutely so awesome. I have a feeling we're going to be pleasantly overwhelmed when we receive this game. But even with only 10 minutes of gameplay, there was a ton to unpack. And normally when I do an analysis video like the ones I've done for the previous two trailers, I'm careful not to watch anyone else's video so I'm not subconsciously influenced. This way my thoughts are truly my own and any overlap is just a coincidence. However, in my excitement, I did end up watching 3 videos. Thankfully, a large majority of everything I have in this video I had already written down for myself, but I cannot deny there are a few things on this list that even though I might have noticed them myself eventually, because my first introduction to noticing them was someone else's video, I will be sure to give credit where credit is due. And with that, let's get to the list. Number 1. No more Guardians. We already pretty much knew this from previous trailers, but it was never for sure that footage was final. Now that we know that the game is complete, what we saw in that gameplay was final. And in the areas where Aonuma was on the surface, the Guardians were gone. No live ones, no destroyed ones. The people of Hyrule must have done a cleanup from the time we left Breath of the Wild. So this definitely suggests that at least probably a few months have passed in order to be able to clean up the entirety of Hyrule. I'm also wondering if the Divine Beasts are for sure gone. We haven't seen them in any overworld footage, and while I know Varuto was mentioned as not working in the end of Breath of the Wild, maybe we don't see any follow-up on that and it's just, they're done. The plan was a great idea, but it didn't work out very well, so let's just get rid of the Sheik attack. Number 2. There is a strange smoke signal coming from the stables. We saw 2 different stables and both of them have this weird consistent smoke signal coming from the horse on the top. This could just be a fun little upgrade, they're making their stables a little bit cooler looking, or it could be something's going on inside that requires the smoke to exit from up top like a chimney. This is actually one of the few points on this list that to me suggests that Hyrule is definitely in a state of repair. Number 3. There's a construct on the surface. I didn't notice this one until my second time looking through the footage, but there is most certainly a construct on the surface near the stable. For some reason, I thought these would be limited to the Sky Islands, but I was wrong. The Zonai are gonna be everywhere in this game, but we'll get back to that later. Number 4. No more shrines. In addition to the Sheik attack being gone, I guess that would include the shrines because there are areas where we should have seen shrines by now, and they're gone. Number 5. Koroks are roaming around. Instead of hiding and leaving us seeds, quote unquote, the Koroks seem to be roaming around Hyrule freely on their own adventure with backpacks bigger than they are. I'm so excited that these little creatures are going to be roaming around on their own little adventure throughout Hyrule. Number 6. Buildings in the works. There are a few areas on the surface so far where we see these piles of wood and construction materials. No doubt we will be able to use those materials with our Ultra Hand ability, but I think this is another suggestion at Hyrule being in a state of repair. One of them even has a sign next to it, and of course I don't know what it says, but my guess is it's something about this is gonna be a new building of some sort. I'm not being very articulate, but I think you get my point. Number 7. Easier accessibility to our other items. In Breath of the Wild, it was easy for us to change out our sword, shield, or bow. But if you look over here, there's a little apple image for one of the buttons. This must be how we access our inventory for other items, such as how we fuse things with our arrows. That's a nice little UI upgrade, I think. Number 8. New mushrooms. We saw this greatly on display with the puff shroom attached to the shield, but nevertheless, we know there's going to be new fauna, not just with these really beautiful golden-leaved trees, but in other small ways as well. Number 9. This creature is a lot smaller than I thought it was going to be. So now we know this is a construct, but a more docile one. And while Aonuma may have referred to the soldier constructs as enemies, they don't seem to be enemies in the sense that they're corrupt in some way, like how the Guardians were corrupt with malice, but just that they are designed to protect that island. And so these other constructs seem to have a more docile role. Number 10. The Zonai are confirmed. I mean, I guess it was pretty much confirmed, but even I was holding back a little bit that I might be wrong. But when Aonuma defeated that soldier construct and picked up that item called Zonai Charge from it, I think many of us probably lost our minds knowing this is now confirmed. I actually didn't even notice this till someone commented on my reaction video pointing it out, so thank you for that. Number 11, railing on the Sky Islands. We saw Link shield surf on railings such as this in the previous trailer, but there are a few points in the gameplay where you see railing all around the Sky Islands, even connecting Sky Islands. This means we'll probably use our shield and also some mine carts to get around the Sky Islands, as well as paragliding from one to another. Number 12, a shrine-like symbol on the map. I'll be clear from the get-go that all of these map images I didn't notice until Triforce Trends pointed them out. If you look on the little map in the bottom right corner, you see a symbol that looks very similar to what shrines looked like on our map in Breath of the Wild. It's not exactly the same. In fact, it kind of looks like those rocks that have that spiral swirl, which I think will be warp points as well, since that's what the shrines were and the symbols are very, very similar. Number 13. Battery symbol. Another symbol on the map is this battery. Don't know what it means. It could be a way to upgrade how long our Zonai battery charges for, like when we make these vehicles that can go across the land, water, and air, but I probably won't be sure until I actually see it in the game. Number 14, Ultra Hand and merchandise. The symbol used for our Ultra Hand ability has been seen before. It's already been on some of the merchandise that Nintendo has released for Tears of the Kingdom. My guess is this has to do with the hand sealing Ganondorf, but we'll see. Number 15. A strange altar. We've seen these buildings before, but never quite up close. But when Aonuma was demonstrating Ascend for the first time, he walked into one of them, and we see a couple of things. We see old broken parts of what I assume was a type of construct, as well as an altar. Very curious to see what that's about. Number 16. Big Zonai construct monster. I'm not sure what else to call this, but I'm pretty sure this is that giant golem thing from the previous trailer, all folded up. So I guess they stay in this dormant position until you activate them for a battle. Number 17. Caves can be completed. This one I learned from Captain Bergerson's video, but if you look on the map, you see the little cave symbols. Furthermore, some of them have a check next to them. So this must be Tears of the Kingdom's version of shrines or mini dungeons. I mean, even when Aonuma went into that cave to use Ascend ability on a thicker mass, if you look to the left, the cave goes further in. We've already seen plenty of footage that takes place inside of caves, and it may have been one of these. Number 18. Markets on the Sky Island? Not sure what it could be, but the market symbol is on the map on the Sky Islands. Very curious to see what that's going to be. Number 19, this big blue orb. In one of the shots from the gameplay footage, one of the islands nearby has a bunch of railing and at its center, a platform with a blue orb. I'll be honest, I have no thoughts on what this could be, so let me know what you think in the comment section below. Number 20, pools or portals of malice. Yes, we technically have seen these in trailers, but I feel like this is one of the better looks we've had at them so far. This is just my own little theory, but I feel like these are portals in some way. It could be a portal for Link to transport to under Hyrule, where Ganondorf was found, perhaps? Or it could be a way for enemies to spawn. Like I said, it's a mini theory and not a great one at that. So those were 20 things you may not have noticed from Aonuma's 10 minutes of gameplay for Tears of the Kingdom. Let me know if some of the things listed were things that you had missed, or if there's anything I missed that you want to talk about in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up and joining the Geekdom by subscribing. By the way, I also do live streams, so if you hit the notification bell, you'll be notified when I go live. Typically, it's on Friday mornings, but sometimes I'll do other days as well. Big shout out and thank you to all of my patrons and channel members, especially those in the Hylian Knight tier over on Patreon, such as Joking Batman, Geek Mom, Lorulian Sheep, McToppler, and Charles. Thank you so much to all of you for your support. I really appreciate it. But anyway, that's all for today. Thank you for watching.